Ruth brought soup yesterday, set it on the porch without knocking, the way she does when she thinks I'm having a hard week. I didn't tell her I was having a hard week. I never tell anyone that. That's the thing, I suppose. That's always been the thing. I've been sitting in this kitchen since early morning. The Cardinal came to the feeder around 7. I wrote it down. Then I sat here and thought about how many people tried to get close to me over the years and how consistently I made it difficult for them. Not on purpose. I want to say that plainly. It was never on purpose. My father was a quiet, hard man, not cruel, just sealed. He worked, he provided, he handled whatever came without showing the seams. When his own father died, I never saw him cry, not once. He went to the funeral, came home, changed his clothes, went back to work the next morning. I watched that and I thought, that's what a man looks like. That's what holding things together means. I held that image for 84 years. When Maggie and I were young and money was thin and I was teaching full time and exhausted in a way I didn't have words for, I didn't tell her. I just kept going. She'd ask me how I was doing and I'd say fine and mean it as a full answer. She learned not to push. I thought that meant she understood. It meant she'd given up on getting through. I understand that now, 6 years after losing her. Too late to do anything with the understanding except sit with it. There was a night in 1987, February, cold, ice on the windows. I had made a financial mistake, not catastrophic, but serious, the kind that kept me awake for weeks. Maggie knew something was wrong. She came and sat beside me at this table right here and put her hand over mine and said, "You can tell me." I said there was nothing to tell. She sat there a little longer, then she got up and went to bed. She was offering me something that night, a way in, a chance to be known by the person who most wanted to know me, and I turned it down the way I always turned it down, not harshly, just quietly, just by being a wall that looked like a man. Daniel grew up watching that. He learned the same thing I learned from my father, that strength meant silence, that handling things meant handling them alone. I taught him that without meaning to, without saying a word, just by being the model in front of him every day. He lives in Portland now, calls on Sundays. He doesn't tell me when things are hard either. I built that in him. I know that now. Claire tried longer than Daniel did. She's warmer by nature, always was. She'd come to me with things, feelings, worries, small confessions, and I'd respond with solutions, practical, sensible answers. I thought I was helping. She wanted something else entirely. She wanted me to just be with her in it for a moment, without fixing it, without moving on. I didn't know how to do that. I'm not sure I know how now, fully, but I try more than I used to. The strength I carried all those years, it looked solid from the outside. Colleagues respected it. Students responded to it. The school board liked that I didn't complain or waver or make things complicated. I was reliable, steady, the kind of man you could count on. What I didn't understand for most of my life is that the people who loved me didn't need me to be reliable. They needed me to be reachable. Those are entirely different things, and I only ever learned to be one of them. Maggie was sick at the end. 2 years of it, slow and hard, and I was there, present in a way I hadn't been before, more open than I'd ever allowed myself to be. I held her hand. I sat beside her through the difficult nights. I told her things I'd kept to myself for decades. She listened. She didn't say I should have said it sooner. She just listened. I think she'd been waiting a long time. After she was gone, the strength had nowhere useful to go. There was no one left to protect with it. The house just got quiet, and I got old, and the thing I'd spent a lifetime building, this wall of competence and composure, turned out to be exactly what was standing between me and anyone who might have made these years less empty. I sit on the porch sometimes in the evenings now. The street is quiet, lights on in the houses across the way, families moving behind the windows. I watch that and I think about how I lived inside that kind of warmth for 50 years and kept choosing again and again to stand slightly apart from it, not to be cold, just to be strong. There's a difference, I know, but from the outside, from the inside of someone trying to love you, it doesn't always feel like one. If you're carrying something right now, and I think most people are, I'm not going to tell you to put it down. I know it's not that simple. I just want you to consider who's standing next to you, waiting. Who keeps offering you a way in that you keep quietly declining, because the strength will hold. It always holds. But the people get tired, and one day you'll be sitting at a table in a house that used to be full, grateful for soup left on the porch by a neighbor, wondering when you decided that was enough.